Okay. Hello. I have decided to do this impromptu video of some new training I have, and I hope that you guys like it. So let's get started. We're going to talk about um, being in control of your data, from chaos to control. 4 steps to structure your business, master your database, and conquer disorganization. And so I just want to say hello. I will talk a little bit about this kind of new feature we've got that you can ask questions later. So you can scan the QR code, you'll get a text, and you have to enter, say yes to the text, and then you opt in and you can ask questions later on throughout. And I'll go and monitor it afterwards. And you can also do the same thing by going to go.agenttechmastery.com SMS/SMS. Okay. So I want your questions answered. You can always ask later as well. I'm just so happy to be here. They are going to be real-time answers to your questions if you use this new cool thing. I'm going to do a podcast about this new tool that I've got going on around the end of June. So stay tuned for that. And then let's get started. Okay, so here's a new analogy that I have come up with for you guys to understand issues you might be having in your business. So I like to call it the too many houses nightmare. And I'm going to use this analogy for you, okay? So imagine that you're super rich and you got 5 homes, okay? And in every home, you put an address book. A physical address book sits in every home. And then in every home, you also put a filing cabinet. Every single home has its own filing cabinet. And every single home has a calendar. The chaos that ensues, finding an appointment. Which house were you in when you wrote it on the calendar? Right? You're like, I don't know. Now I have to go into 5 different houses to find that one piece of information that you're looking for. What about if you're looking for a client's address or a note you took and you put it in the address book? Which home is that address book sitting in? What about an important document? Which house did you save it in? It's just chaos, right? This is what happens when your workflow is scattered across different systems you use, not different homes, and it's not efficient. It's extremely time consuming. And it creates unnecessary stress and overwhelm. So let me put this to an analogy, from that analogy to something you might understand in your reality. There's 9 houses here, and the houses really are different spots in your business you save things. So the average person has 5 email addresses. And with every email address, there is an address book, a contact, files, and folders. And of course, email, everyone understands that, okay? However, you also have a phone where these things also sit. Could be local, or could be sit in a different system where you don't know where it is. It's not talking to your main information, okay? And you might also have a laptop or a computer where contacts, calendars, files, and folders sit isolated, sitting there. And of course, you have another laptop, whether at the office or one you take with you, also has contacts, calendar, files, and folders attached to that sitting there. And then we also see usually a standalone CRM that, guess what, usually has contacts standalone, as well as calendar standalone. And some CRMs also allow file and folders as well. Then what we also see is agents have a spreadsheet with client data, possibly addresses that you need to keep, not addresses, events like closing anniversaries, all on a spreadsheet, all separate. So can you imagine why now your business is mucked up? Where do you go to find stuff, right? So normally we see that the data is scattered across, your data is scattered across at least 10 different digital homes. So no wonder you're having problems, right? And you might have contact info on your phone, but that's not in the CRM, and that's not on your laptop, and that's not on the office computer. And you're like, right? You might have crucial information that you want to follow up, but you got 10,000 emails, 2,897 emails in your inbox. You're trying to find that one email. You can't. Oh, because you deleted it because the mailbox was overflowing. Problems, right? I have seen people save $1 million client information somewhere. Like, I know I saved it. I was on where was I? On my phone, on my tablet, on my computer. I can't find that. I can't remember their name. It costs you money. It's opportunities and revenue constantly falling through the cracks because of your systems. And it's a very expensive way to run a business. So much time wasted, so much money wasted every single day. Okay. And then we've got this like, where's Waldo? Where's your stuff? Except Waldo in this case is probably costing you hundreds of thousands of dollars. And we needed to find Waldo yesterday, not today. Okay. Now, let me talk a little bit about this, is that you went to real estate school to keep out of real estate jail. That's really what they taught you. You can recite disclosure requirements in your sleep, but nobody taught you how to run a business, run and set up and configure everything so that everything talks. Does that make sense? So we do know how to do that. And I'll show you at the end of this. You can book a chat with us, see if we can fix your systems. But let me explain who I am and why I am here talking to you today. If you don't know me already, my name is Darcy LaRock. I have been 30 years now in information technology. And I have done server deployment, email deployment, BlackBerry Bez server, it used to be called. I wish they were still around. And I've taken all my deep knowledge of how email integrates with devices and systems to make it really easy for you to understand. Okay. I have worked almost 2 decades, it sounds it's unbelievable, 2 decades for agents. And I have dedicated myself to making this technology easy for you to implement. I've been on TV for 3 seasons teaching tech. I have spoken at hundreds of conferences across North America for real estate agents. I've helped thousands and thousands of agents who have gone through our program. And generally, they save 10 or more hours a week and they get back hundreds. One of my clients said millions, if not billions of dollars in revenue. Okay. That is why I am here. So now let's see if you're in the right spot. Does this sound like you? Do you feel disorganized and scattered with all your important client data? Like you can't find anything, you spend hours and hours searching for stuff. Do you use multiple cloud storage? Some in Dropbox, some in Google, some in on your computer only, some in Apple's iCloud. You just don't know where everything is. Do you have many different email addresses, or even worse, do you have a brokerage email address? I'll talk about that in a minute. Are you stressed and overwhelmed with all the different software options, CRM options? This person tells you use that, that person tells you use that, and you're like, I don't know what to use. I'm not going to do anything, and I'm just going to keep running my business the same way, the same inefficient way. Do you rely on your memory? That works in year 1, and then it will not work. There is absolutely no way you can remember every single client detail. And we just see this. Do you or have you lost business due to things falling through the cracks, forgetting to follow up? You can't find that client data. It's just really horrible, right? All the while, your gold mine of past clients goes completely untapped because your disorganization makes follow-up impossible. Okay. Now, here's the really painful part. Remember all those amazing clients you had that loved you, that you helped over the past 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 years? You guys never retire. The ones that absolutely loved you, right? Who would totally buy and sell with you again. And they've actually told they would refer the entire yoga class or whatever, family, friends to you. They're just sitting there forgotten. like that gym membership that you swore you'd use, right? Your past clients are scattered like a gold mine, but instead of mining it, they're sitting in a graveyard. You're over here wanting to reach out to Sarah, that past client that you loved. She loved you. But did you put Sarah under S for Sarah? How do you spell Sarah? W for waterfront condo lady. Oh my gosh, where's her email? You can't remember her name. Now I got to dig through 10,000, 100,000 emails that are sitting in your inbox. Or maybe you put her information on that random spreadsheet you started and then abandoned. Or maybe you put it on a sticky note that's probably stuck to the bottom of your laptop bag. Sound familiar? Meanwhile, what'd Sarah do? She just bought that vacation home with another agent. She just referred out a friend or family member to that other agent. And Sarah forgot you existed because you didn't keep in touch. I have been doing this, like I said, almost 20 years. I see this every day. It's so sad for me, but it's fixable. And if you think about it, if 20% of your past clients moved or referred someone to someone else, we are talking hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? Your disorganization isn't just exhausting, it's literally costing you a fortune. Okay. All right. Does this anyone sounds like this? Because you are in the right spot. If you are juggling 5 or 10 different digital houses, you can't find your stuff, your calendar's a mess, files are spread across different spots, you don't know where they are, you're using a CRM or paying for a CRM but not using it. I've never met an agent that actually used a CRM fully, ever, in all these years. And you break into a cold sweat when you can't find something. Okay, if you're nodding your head or you're feeling personally attacked, I'm sorry. Take a deep breath. You're exactly where you need to be. Okay, so let's talk about what's actually possible for you, because this chaotic tech nightmare, it shouldn't be your reality. We're going to talk about 4 steps to take chaos to control. You ready? All right. Now, wouldn't it make sense, instead of having those 10 different homes, to have one central hub for everything? A revolutionary concept. One central hub. Mind-blowing, right? So you'll have a sacred place where everything lives. It's kind of like the Marie Kondo. Is she still around? I think she is. Of digital life. Everything has a home, and here's what it looks like. All contacts, address books in one system, one professional email address, one calendar that actually knows your whole life, one place for client notes that you can actually find anywhere that you look, one organized system, and one secure spot for all those passwords. I know you guys have problems with passwords, okay? The magic, when everything lives in one place, you can actually find it anywhere. When someone calls about that house they viewed 6 months ago, boom, you can find it. No panic, no pretending like, oh, let me get back to you while you're frantically searching for the information. Your central hub becomes your business's brain. Okay? Unlike your actual brain at 3 a.m., it remembers everything. And I have seen this too many times to count that an agent posts on social media, hey, can you DM me your contact information because my phone died and I lost everything. If you were set up properly, that would never happen, ever. Can you imagine how much time that agent wastes thinking that they've lost everything? And they probably haven't. It's just not set up properly. They don't know where to look in which house to find that data. Okay? Let me tell you how much time she actually wastes on stuff like that, or agents in general. The hidden cost of wasted time. Because disjointed systems, things that aren't connected, how many hours do you actually lose each and every week searching for those files, switching between apps, entering data here and there and everywhere because your stuff isn't actually syncing? And what's your time actually worth? And I want you to be honest. In the years that I've worked with agents, the agents tell me that they have wasted a minimum of 10 hours a week, every single week. So that's, if it's about $100 an hour, that's $4,000 a month. And in a year, $48,000 has evaporated from your business. Not revenue you've earned, it's money you actually worked for but lost due to inefficiencies and poor systems. Can you afford to keep throwing away almost $50,000 a year? Okay, I doubt it. Okay, step one then, a central hub. Step two, super important, a professional email address that has been set up correctly, not from your GoDaddy or other registrar ever. It has to be set up on the right server, on the right plan. Otherwise, the whole integration won't work. And then everything that you touch needs to be configured to talk to just that one professional email address, right? So all your devices, your phones, your tablets, your computers, your office, your home one, your iPhone, your Android, everything is talking to the central hub, okay? It's incredible. And then your CRM, if it's set up properly, could talk to that email address and the contacts and calendars at one central location. Now, I don't know if anyone's watching live, so I don't know if you're going to see this, but you could always do this later. Slido.com 1307801, or you can just scan the QR code. And basically what we are always asking is, this is anonymous, so don't worry about it. What happens here is, what are you using to run your business? And, again, normally what we see is not your own domain, but anything else but, and this is where all the problems come from, okay? And let me explain what the problems are. There's perceived value in what your email says about you. Picture this, you're a successful real estate pro, you dress sharp, you got a nice car, you have professional photos, and you're amazing. And then you hand out your business card. Is it soccer dad _ Jim at AOL, Sparkle Princess 88 at Yahoo, Realtor Guy Bob 1968 at Hotmail, I love cats and houses just at Gmail, best agent ever at outlook.com, or any other free address? And I can hear you saying, but I've had this email address for 20 years. Yeah, you probably had a suit for 20 years, but you're not wearing it to your listing presentations, right? You should not be set up like this. It's perceived value. And what your email really says about you, okay, this is a bit of a joke, but AOL, do you even understand Wi-Fi or have Wi-Fi? Hotmail, is your computer from 2011? Party girl, should I trust you with that $700,000? Or your name and numbers or realtor in front of the @ Are you even a full-time agent? Are you setting yourself up for success or failure? It is about perception, you guys. I don't know. I'm sure you're amazing agents, but could it be that you've lost business because of this? So let's talk about that, okay? The technical part of the free email address. So besides, like I said, it's so unprofessional, it makes you seem less credible, less established to your clients, and it signals amateur, part-time agent, rather than the expert you probably are. It also gives you limited storage. Every free email address, why do you think stuff's free? You get spammed, okay? You get spammed for sure. You get promos for sure, because somebody's paying for this servers where your stuff is hosted that you're not paying for. So they come with limited storage, forcing you to delete important emails and files and folders to make room. And your inbox will become full eventually if you don't do that, and then it will stop working. It's just horrible. I've seen so many problems with this with agents. Emails sent from free email addresses are more likely to land in the client spam folder. Okay. That leads to missed opportunities, because maybe you'll think, oh, they just never got the email or whatever. You don't pick up the phone because you think they just are ignoring you. They're not. They never got it. Okay. What do you think the spammers actually use to spam people? Free email addresses. They don't go set up a proper business email to spam you, generally speaking. They use all the free services just like you are. There is literally no technical support. When things go wrong, you're on your own. There is no dedicated support on any free email. Okay? Clients may take you seriously, but might actually say, I'd never received your email. So we have to think about how much money is lost because of that, right? Because they maybe sent you an email too, and it went into your junk mail. Like it's just, and true business emails filter these things better because you're a paying customer. I'll talk about that in a little bit. You have no control. Free email providers can suspend or shut down your account at any time, leaving you with no more access to your contacts, calendars, files folder, and of course, email, right? I've seen so many times where someone has lost the password to their Yahoo account, let's say, it doesn't matter, any free service. And then whatever backup they put on there, if they did, they no longer have access to, and they can't reset the password. They've literally cannot get support, and they cannot get into their email anymore. I've seen it many, many, many times. And then on the other side, who are you marketing for? Gmail, Yahoo, Outlook, iCloud, AOL? Why? You should be branding and marketing for yourself and your business. I think that most agents are unknowingly projecting amateur hour with every email that you send. And I don't mean to be harsh, but the truth is you may not even realize or know how many deals you're losing because of your setup. Using a free email service can look professional. It is not professional, and perception matters. Is it worth it for you to risk your credibility and success? So let's talk a little bit about another kind of business that I want you to understand, okay? Let's say you had to hire a lawyer, okay? You needed a lawyer and both were awesome. They have the same fees. They were equally personable. But at the end of the day, Joe hands you his business card, Joe the Best Lawyer, 1973 at yahoo.com, and Jenny is Jenny at Smith Law. Who would you use? Right? It's obvious. Would you even trust Joe? You're silently maybe judging his age. Is he too old, too young? Why? You should never put your year of birth in your email address ever, ever, ever. Is Joe really an attorney? Is he just going to take your money and run? But are your clients making the same judgments at a listing presentation with your email? I see this all the time. They are. You just don't know it. Why didn't you get that listing appointment? Could it be because of the perception that they have of you? Okay. We know, I don't think any one of you would ever say you're going to use Joe. There is no difference in with a real estate agent either. Okay. So let me just recap this. I really need to recap this. The second step is one professional email address, right? So you have to be able to set this up properly. Your name at yourdomain.com. It needs to be bought from the right company, set up on the right server, the right plan, and everything that you touch has to be configured to talk to it. Your phones, your tablet, computer should only talk to the contacts of your central database that is on your domain email. Your phones and tablets, computers should only talk to the central database calendar that is attached to that your name at yourdomain.com. Your phones and tablets, computers should only talk to the central database of files and folders that are attached to your name at yourdomain.com. And the CRM should talk to that as well. So when set up properly, a proper business email, this is another really cool thing that we discovered, so long ago. You can also, let's say I have Darcy at propertiesforyou.com, but I also want to have a business email, luxury at propertiesforyou.com. We can set it up so that you don't pay for separate email accounts, which over time costs extra money, but you don't need to. Most people don't understand that. But seriously, if you're closing $1 million deal, well, rocking fuzzy kitten 1982 at gmail.com, we need an intervention. Okay. Your email address is often the first impression, and don't let it be the last. Every message, every file, every folder, every client detail right at your fingertips exactly when you need it. No more searching, no more guesswork, just clarity and effortless organization. Okay, unstoppable productivity. And that's what being set up properly does. Now, one last thing about email, and I'm not psychic, but I know most people have something like this. It might be 10,000, it might be 100,000, but how many opportunities are buried in your inbox? We teach agents how to actually easily clean up the inbox, because in this scenario, there's no way you've got 100,000 unread important emails, but every day it weighs on your brain, right? Where's that last listing appointment? Did I reply to something? What was the closing date? And how much mental capacity is wasted when you have setups like this, right? Where's that lead? Did I have a listing appointment today or tomorrow or Monday? When was it? And it's constant chaos of wasted time, okay? It doesn't have to be this way. All right, let's keep going, guys. The issue is that we see a lot of times is that the foundation of your business is cracked or completely broken. But that's not really on you, because no one ever taught you how to properly set up the digital infrastructure of your real estate business that it desperately needs. You're thrown into the deep end, told to swim, and technology is changing faster than anyone could ever keep up with. And many agents, actually, tech wasn't even around when you became an agent. So you're just kind of did stuff you thought was okay, right? And it ends up costing you a lot of wasted time and money, okay? Let's talk about Jerome, one of my very first clients I had about 18 years ago. Jerome came to me frustrated, overwhelmed. He was spending hours every week trying to manage his CRM, following up with his clients, and keeping his marketing on track. He was losing deals because he couldn't keep up. He felt like he was working harder than ever for less and less return. And he'd already wasted thousands of dollars on tech consultants and software that didn't work. Now, we did a full real estate, it was complimentary at the time, a full real estate tech and systems audit. It still is complimentary, said at the time, of Jerome's tech stack, and showed him exactly how to streamline his systems. And again, almost immediately, he gained back 10 hours or more a week, because now everything talked to each other, automated his follow-ups, and started getting more repeat and referral business than ever before. And today, Jerome has added more dollars to his bottom line, and his business runs smoothly still 18 years later, even when he takes time off, okay? Now, is your mind blown? Do you feel a little overwhelmed? Like, oh my gosh, right? I know. It is so important to understand this stuff. Now, one last tip about email I want you to understand, or not email, just a pro tip. Do not use a brokerage email ever, ever, ever. I wouldn't even go work at a brokerage that makes me use a brokerage email address. They say it's for E&O. I would challenge them on that. If you have a proper business email, you should have your own E&O insurance, and a proper business email is where you own your own data, okay? And don't use a brokerage CRM. If you switch brokerages with any of these scenarios, this is horrible. They kind of have you handcuffed. You lose access to your email, your data, your contacts. You take your business back to square one. Own your own tools and your own success. Don't be dependent on brokerage tools that you may leave, right? You may leave, your beloved managing broker might leave. Maybe you leave an area where that brokerage isn't there anymore. There's many, many reasons why this can happen, and it's devastating, okay? All right, step 3. One central hub for all files and folders. Most users find greater efficiency, cost savings, and reduced frustration by consolidating everything into, sorry, you guys, I just lost my thing here. Consolidating everything into one primary cloud storage service. One place to look for anything on your computer, not 10 different houses, digital houses. When you're set up with many cloud storage services, your digital life is scattered everywhere. So some stuff in Dropbox, some stuff in iCloud, some stuff in Google Drive, some stuff in OneDrive, and some stuff just sitting somewhere not backed up. Good luck finding it, right? You're out and about and you have no idea which cloud storage service you saved that important document, forcing you an emergency trip back to your home or back to your office. Again, how much is your time worth for all this inefficiency? Now, imagine the ultimate risk. What happens when, not if, your computer crashes, right? The ultimate risk is that you'll lose all your important data, personal and business. One of my clients came to us after this exact nightmare, and it happened on a Mac's die. He had to spend $10,000 on a hard drive specialist desperately trying to get back his data. And they got back, I think it was 25%, if that. I can't really remember. It was a long time ago. But it's because he wasn't set up properly. This never had to happen, okay? And then we see this. And again, I'm not psychic. I know that lots of people look like this. You have stuff on your desktop and you're screaming and crying. What happens, seriously, right now if your computer crashes? Are all these files and folders gone? Are they? Do you know? Because many times we know that they are gone. It doesn't have to be this way, because personal stuff is very important as well. Personal and business should not be set up like this. It should be set up in a central hub that is syncing and backed up all the time. Does that make sense? So everything should be accessible from anything you go to. If you logged on to a computer at my house, you should be able to see all your files, all your folders, all your contacts, all your calendar, all your email, because everything's set up properly. Okay. All right. Let's talk about the last step. CRM. A CRM that you own that is integrated with everything else in that central hub. And again, I'm doing this live, impromptu, so you probably aren't going to see this, but again, it's anonymous, where you can scan the QR code and just tell us what you use to keep in touch. Again, anonymous. But what we know is that you can't rely on your memory. That is not what a CRM stands for. Well, you can't rely on your memory. It is really, really, really important to use a CRM. Every business should have a CRM, right? The agent CRM tragedy that I've witnessed is paying for a CRM and not using it. I literally just talked to an agent, 31 years in the business, has paid for a CRM for 31 years and has never used it, admittedly. That's $31,000, poof, out the window. The pitfalls, again, of using a brokerage CRM, it's false sense of security. Data loss when changing brokerages. Yes, you can export the contacts, but why should you have to? Everything should sync and integrate, and it's theirs. They can change their mind at any time. Oh, we're not going to support this CRM. Oh, we're going to change to a new CRM. And then you have to learn something else. Own your own data, please. Trying 4 or more different CRMs. Listen, I get it, but why? Is it partly maybe because your systems aren't working, or is it because truly those 4 or 5 other CRMs aren't great? I don't know. We talk about that when we talk to agents, because there's many reasons why people try different CRMs and never actually use anything, okay? Using a spreadsheet. It is not a CRM. A spreadsheet is not a CRM, you guys, ever, okay? Or using a standalone CRM that will never integrate with all your central hub that can be configured properly, okay? Does that make sense? What we want is that everything is centralized, that central hub, and this could be your business, right? Imagine this flawless, anywhere you enter a contact on your phone, it appears in your CRM. You type a note in the CRM, it's on your phone, in the contact record. A document you saved on your computer is accessible on your phone, your tablet, seconds later. An appointment is scheduled anywhere and you get it everywhere. Everything syncs automatically. No more scattered data, no more manual transfers, no more frantic searches, just pure focus on clients and commissions, not tech frustrations, okay? And when you're ready to transition or retire, you can hand over a complete organized database for maximum value and ongoing referrals. But I think that it's important also, which I see a lot of agents don't do, is to be blind by their numbers. Do you know, if you've been an agent for 10 years, have you lost 10 deals, 5 deals, 20 deals? Know your numbers, because even if you've lost one deal, it's worth it to fix because of the frustration of disjointed systems and how much time you waste. But let's look at this, okay? Most agents don't track their numbers. And what we've heard from Jared James, who's a big sales coach for agents, is he claims that, I think it's actually more than this, every client is worth $117,000 of lifetime value. Okay, so consider this. You lost one deal, that cost you $117,000. This is US, by the way. What if you lost 20 deals? That's $2.34 million because of your systems lost, vanished. You need to look at your systems and you need to keep track of the clients that you've lost. Why didn't they use you 5 years ago when they went to go sell their house that you bought for them? Is it because you didn't keep in touch? That's on you. And that's because of the systems, and it needs to be fixed. Okay. So I really want you to understand that this is all fixable. And let's take a look at, what's this? Totally switching topics. Rotary phone. Okay. If you young people, this is what we call a rotary phone. Back in the day before smartphones, no texting, no apps, no camera. You just dialed and called people. Okay. It took forever. Is anyone still using this for your business? Right? No, you'd be laughed out of real estate. And many of you are clinging to digital systems that are just as outdated as this rotary phone. It is pretty, but it is outdated. So every single one of you has the latest iPhone or Android or Pixel. How much does that cost you? $1,500, $2,000, $2,500, but you're still running your possibly multi-million-dollar business like it's 1985. You've invested in cutting edge hardware that you don't use, right? No central hub, no integrated systems, just constant digital marathon running between 8 different apps and platforms and accounts, trying to find that critical piece of information. That $2,000 smartphone deserves better, and so do you and your business. It could again look like this, and that's what we want for you. Have I scared you? This is all fixable. I've been doing this for 30 years for everybody and 20 years for agents. And we don't want you to have this inadvertently set up business anymore. So how can we help you? Your next step is to do what Jerome did way back when, is to do a real estate tech and systems audit. And you can book a complimentary call directly with me. Okay. So let me go back here. I was totally fast on that. You'll get my 30 years of experience of emails and phones and tablets and how things integrate, and how it will work is, if you're fit for our program, I'll let you know next steps. And if you're not, I'll send you away with some free tools to improve your current setup. But sit down and calculate how much you've lost, okay, in your business, how much time you've wasted. And this is not for everybody, okay? Who this is for, to book a free call, because we do a lot of research about you before, we do a lot of information about you after. And so this is for serious agents only. Okay, if you're serious about streamlining your systems and you want to change, you want that central hub of integration, book a call. If you're willing to invest to make it happen, book a call. We don't want agents who are like, nah, I'm not going to do anything. I don't really care. I just want to use some free time to review stuff. That's not going to help, right? We want people who are very serious, willing to invest, and of course are coachable. So if you revel in kind of disorganization, and some people do, and you're not willing to make changes, don't waste my time or your time. Don't book a call. But if you are, please book a call at go.agenttechmastery.com/apply. And I cannot wait to talk to you when you book your chat. We will be on the call for about 45 minutes. You're going to fill out a very short form so I get to know you better. I'm going to do some research on you, and then we will meet, okay? So I am so excited about this, and please ask questions. You can also scan this, do the scan here. That will take you to a whole bunch of other stuff, as well as a way to book a session with us. The go.agenttechmastery.com/apply is direct to the apply page. So I am very excited to talk to you. Please let me know if you have any questions. Feel free to ask questions below as well, or DM me. Look forward to it. My name is Darcy LaRock from Agent Tech Mastery, and I'll see you on the call. Bye.